Who needs music?
From the G and Ursula show, here is Ursula Reutin. So is this cedar tree where Droplet 2 is now taken over from Droplet 1? Mm-hmm. That's the only precipitation we've had, by the way, in the last...
Exactly. We need those droplets.
Last 2 months. So what, the merits of the case here, is the tree in the way of this development or not?
It is. As far as what the developer wants to do with that particular piece of property in Seattle's Wedgwood neighborhood, it is specifically on Northeast 88th. The tree itself, I went by the property, it's off to the side, but the plan is to put up 6 housing units. The city already signed off on it, but now the city is saying, well, before you actually remove the tree, you have to give the public notice, 3 days notice, and they're saying that didn't happen. But the city had already said, you're okay. So it's only because these activists, the leaders being Droplet 1 and Droplet 2, came, and then neighbors came. Basically, because there are people now on the tree, they can't remove that tree. But they've gotten all the... Yeah, but, well, here's the other thing, though, Dave. The other development that I found... I don't know. It's not something that sits well with me, which is that activists have now trashed the company that was supposed to remove the tree. So they go online and just, give bad reviews.
Well, the company backed out, too, yesterday.
Yes, well, because
they said,
that's why, though.
I don't want anything to do with this. So.
Exactly, because of that.
So is it in the way of the housing development, or is this just sort of a clear-cut strategy to easily build 6 homes?
Frankly, I think they could have built the 6 units keeping the tree, but that wasn't the plan that they had, and that's not the plan that was signed off by the city. In a perfect world, they would have found a way to keep that tree, and I think that's what the activists are hoping.
I'm trying to figure out, is the tree like smack in the middle of the lot?
It's not.
Or could you just move the building 10 feet and still keep the tree?
I'm not a developer. There are specific things that you have to follow. As someone who just had a remodel, and we could only build up to a certain point, we had to leave like 15 feet between us and our back fence. There are things that you have to follow that
Seattle.
make it
There's all sorts of,
But weren't we just in the news talking about the tree canopy crisis in the city too, that we've removed too many trees and there's not enough shade, which just heats us up further?
So that is the argument of these activists, which is that this tree is one of 6,000 what they call majestic trees. It's big. It's
200 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, it would exactly.
You can't replace
take
that.
No, you can't. But the city, like as of I think next week, the new code says that developers can remove the tree as long as they replace the tree. Now, this was approved before that new rule went into effect. So, again, they're kind of slipping in. So,
well, it's just we're talking
I basically
rules
see
here.
both sides.
The rules don't... Rules are sometimes getting in the way of doing the right thing. That's the problem I have with something like this. I would think that it's a benefit, especially as the weather's getting warmer, for anybody moving into an apartment like that, not to have to use the air conditioner all the time. A tree like that can save you having to air condition your home. I know that because that's the way our lot turned out to be.
Yeah,
I don't need air conditioning because of the trees. And the idea that you can replace a 100-year-old tree, that's ridiculous. You can't replace a tree like that.
Well, you can't. It would take another 100 years. But there's also the argument of we have a severe shortage of housing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Move the thing 10 feet and keep the tree.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the ideal solution. I don't know that can happen. I mean, this project came to a screeching halt. This was supposed to have happened last Friday. Yeah. And you know how hard it is to get permits, how long that takes. So to think that it would just be a snap of the fingers, well, let's just change the plan.
I just don't see why they can't come to a compromise. If it's not a fire hazard for the homes, if it's not in the way and the roots will, get in the way of the foundation, if it really isn't like a structural or environmental reason for removing the tree, why can we not come to a compromise here?
Yeah. I don't know that all those things
Give
that
them
you
an
just
extra
listed.
floor on the building. Let them build an extra floor on the building.
Hey, I'm not the developer.
And with any luck, when they dig out the foundation, it'll kill the tree anyway.
Ursula, what's wrong with you? Why do you want to kill trees?
In fact, it is a gorgeous tree.
It is.
It is a beautiful tree, and we don't have enough trees. But again, I don't blame the developer because they did everything that they were supposed to do, and then it comes to a screeching halt because these activists are out there, and how long is it going to go? The activists say it's going to go as long as it takes. I think it's going to go as long as people are paying attention to it.
Yeah, well, it's going to go until probably the weather gets really lousy. But still, I think there is a way around this, and I don't know why they don't find it. It means changing the rules. But I bet if you gave the developer like an extra story or two, which is a big money maker, right? Probably against the zoning, I'm guessing. Which
Okay,
is
so
right
should that happen with every property then? That everyone gets an exception because you can save a tree? I mean, it opens up a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah, it should. Wouldn't it be nice if you could have a city and an old growth forest in the same place?
Yes. And frankly, I'm with you guys. I'm all about trying to find a compromise. I just don't know that that's going to happen here.
All right. Well, keep us up to date, as I know you will.
I will.
Because it's your neighborhood.